So this is the brooder. So after the chickens go through an incubator, they go into a second incubator, which is a hatcher. So what we're looking at the moment is the brooder without the chickens in it. And then we've got the feeder and the waters, which we need to teach them how to drink straight up. They'll work out the food later on. So over here is our hatcher, which is an old incubator, not auto turn or anything like that. Just quickly, that's where all the lights are. It's all fully automatic. There's water in there to keep the humidity in. I'm just going to keep that shut for now. We've got the timer there, which is set to about 38 at the moment. It's a little bit less, which we're going to get out, and we're going to show them the water. Little silvers. We dunk their head in there so they know where the water is. Their beak, should I say. We dunk their beak in there so they know what water is. They will find the food in their own time. When chicks hatch, they don't need to eat straight away. They've got enough in them from their eggshell, from the yolk, and but they do need water. Some lavender's coming through here now. Lavender Sussex, always really cute chicks. Got some lights, possibly coronations. We'll find that out on their wingspan as they get probably to around about a week old. You'll see a little bit of black coming on the tips, or if they're light Sussex, or else we'll see a bit of lavender coming out if they're coronation. Oh, looks like we found one that's already found the food. Nope, I want to drop in. I've got the light just over here, which we showed you before, so I'll swing it over there. And they will go over there. The main thing is we want them to know where the water source is. It's very important that you dunk their beaks in to the water and make sure that they know that's where they get a drink. What I use for the bedding is lucerne. Lucerne. Little bits of piece of lucerne. I find that's the best bet because a lot of pine that a lot of people use is actually toxic. some can be, some can't be. So I don't risk it, and I use the lucent, and then if they want to eat that, they can. I've been breeding Sussex for 2 to 3 years now, and my success rate is quite good. So you can check us out, sussexchickens.com if you're in Australia, or else I'm on Facebook as well, Sussex Chickens. Now that's the first tray gone. We'll put it back just in case there's a couple of late hatches. But if my experience, it is better concentrate on the ones that hatched first than other ones that may hatch later, or trying to help them and they end up being deformed. So we've got plenty of more in the second tray. Haven't counted this lot, but there should be at least 50 or 60, I'd say, that have hatched. I'll count them later on. In this particular batch, I've had all my pure Sussex mixed together with different roosters and hens, so they're not going to be, they'll be pure Sussex, but they will not be pure to their breed, should I say. So they'll be split, which is easy enough. You just, the next generation, you go back over pure and they're pure again, pure lavender, pure light, pure coronation, buff, and silver, of course. Doing the crossover can actually be good in getting the size up. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to cross them over. For reselling, you would just need to let the owners know that they're not, because it could end up wrecking someone else's line of getting a pure breed of Sussex. So they'll be sold as project. Most of these will just be sold as layer, and yeah, it's just I had to do that because I ran out of time due to work commitments, so I did have to actually, instead of all being in separate pens, they're all sort of mixing together at the moment. But I sort of do it for the love of the chickens, not to make money. Hopefully I'll make enough money to pay for the feed. That'll be a bonus. It does take a little bit of time to get all these done. Every single one needs to know where the water is. And as you can see from over there, Tiffany's doing our filming for us today. As you can see, a lot of them have found the light already. How many more have we got left, Jade? Fair few still. So we've got a nice array of colours. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, or else I won't keep posting videos. Mainly doing it just so people who like my aquaponics and my Sussex know what I'm up to and how I'm doing it. But obviously I'm not going to go to all the effort if people aren't going to like it and subscribe, then they'll know that it's not worth doing it. So this one's still fresh born one here by the looks of it. He hasn't been hatched for very long at all, or her hopefully. Still a little bit wet, but nice and fluffy. It'll be okay. First one started hatched about 3 days ago. So after 3 days, that's when they really need water. That's why I sacrifice any that haven't hatched, which help them hatch, which I have before, because they end up with problems and they end up dying anyway. So basically I let nature take its place, and the ones that do hatch within the 3 days are the ones that survive, and the rest go back in there, and I monitor them for a few more days to make sure that they hatch. But it's no use sacrificing the ones that did hatch quite well and not have water. So it might sound harsh, but really it is a survival of the fittest, and that's all you can really do. I don't normally check their progress, so to speak, over the time of the show. I did in the earlier stages, but basically I just sort of let them go into the incubation stages, and then when it's time to get them out, they go into the hatcher after day 18. And then day 21, once the first one starts hatching, that's when the first 3 days starts. But sometimes it's day 21, sometimes it's day 22, day 23, depending on the heat. I find if you have your heat lower than higher, then you will then they may take a little bit longer to hatch, but you won't have any problems. As far as humidity goes, I dry incubate because I'm here in Queensland, Australia, and it's high humidity anyway. So I dry incubate in the first stages, and then I've got a certain container in there with enough water in there to work out what my humidity level is going to be for a good hatch, and that's what I fill it in. That's not so much depth, it's volume. So basically at the surface area. The depth is basically how long it's going to last for me to open a lid and add more water. I don't want to be opening the lid and letting that air out, or else you'll wreck your hatches. So the container needs to be big enough, deep enough, that it will last the 5 days of the lockdown period, which is after day 18. And the surface area needs to be big enough to cope with the size of your incubator that you've got. So hopefully this video is not too long. Tiffany's filming all the ones that have gone on down the heat source over there. And within the next couple of days I'll find the feed. I'll make a mess of this. I only leave them in here for a week. Then they go into a bigger pen outside that's got a heat source and water, obviously, and food. And then it doesn't make a huge mess in the little brooder, which is big enough brooder for what I hatch anyway. As I said, it's probably 50 or 60, I'd say. Still going, nearly finished, are we, Jaden? How many more have we got left, mate? One more. That's it. Okay, we'll throw them eggs back in. And this is the little guys. As you can see, I haven't had any feet problem, which you normally do. I don't, but you do if you've got different swings in temperature and stuff like that. Basically, I don't play around with them too much. I let them go. What eggs hatch, what don't. And obviously very, very cute at this stage. And mainly just putting the video out to show you some of my Sussex and to show you how important it is to make sure that they know where the water is. They need to know what the water source is, and that's where the water is. That's why I dunked their head in there, and they all know there's water in there. They'll remember that. And then the food wise, they'll find that later on. So I think that's enough for this video. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see all the updates on my Sussex chickens.